Alright, first video of the day, let's check out what's going on with Strong and Stronger since the StrongBlock rug pull yesterday. Now, if you're hearing that and you're wondering, StrongBlock rug pull, what is this guy talking about? I made a video about this announcement yesterday. Basically, I'll give you the gist of it because, if you want to go through the whole update, you can check out my video yesterday. But the main takeaways from this are that they've rug pulled the old holders. So if you have a node and you've claimed more than 20 tokens, or you've accumulated more than 20 tokens on that node will no longer accumulate rewards. They'll still be happy for you to pay for the node though, otherwise it will obviously expire. And also something else to note, that you no longer have within the user interface, you no longer have the option to pay all and claim all for Ethereum nodes. So, previously you would have been able to claim, your tokens on one transaction by doing a claim all or pay all, but now they've removed it. So if you've got separate transactions that you need to claim, you're going to be getting cracked over the head with these gas fees, which in my opinion is just another way for them to try and kind of siphon a little bit of extra money out of the market from you, to try and obviously, like they're saying, increase the sustainability. But as far as I'm aware, or as far as I'm concerned, this is really rug pulling the old holders. This is going to leave a bad taste in investors' mouths. And I've been very, very harsh on Strong and Stronger for a very long period of time. I've been harsh on Stronger since it minted at 150. I've been covering Stronger and I've been saying it's going to go to $70 and then it's going to zero since 272, and I wasn't always the most likable in my analysis back then, but I'd much rather have, a high credibility than try and be liked by everyone. Like, for example, I make XRP and ICP videos. I bash those cryptocurrencies as well. I think it's super, super important for me to speak my mind on this channel and not just try and ride hype waves and say that every altcoin is going to go up, every altcoin is going to go to the moon, every altcoin is going to make it, because every altcoin is not going to make it. It's proven at this point, at this moment in time, and it does seem like Strong is not going to make it, at least in my opinion. Let's look at the TA. So we've already talked about the news. Like I said, if you want a bit more in-depth of me reading through this, then go check out the daily news update that I provided yesterday. But not a lot has changed in terms of the price. Once again, Stronger finds itself kind of crashing up, down, in this channel to the downside, and it hasn't been in a accumulation range for quite some period of time. Previously, when I was talking about this, let me favorite some of these things I need to use. It always unfavorites them for some reason. Every time I come off Dex Screener, all of my tools disappear, the chart stays the same. I don't know why that is, but it is what it is. But nonetheless, looking at this, we haven't been in one of these accumulation ranges that we've previously done. We're kind of just accumulating to the downside. And what I mean by this is, previously we were talking about these accumulation ranges within these EMA ribbons, and then you find yourself breaking down to a new accumulation range. You come down to some lower fibs, bounce around, upper fib rejection, move down into a new accumulation range, upper fib rejection, break down through the floor and move into a new accumulation range. But we haven't found ourselves in an accumulation range for quite some period of time now. We've really been lollygagging on the heartline. We had a brief momentary breakout, and as you can see, this news update was somewhere around, I believe this was late, at least where I live, it was late in May 19th, so it was less than 48 hours ago or so. I think it came out somewhere towards the evening. I think it came around somewhere around about here, because you can really see, we pumped up to the top. I think they released the news announcement somewhere around about here. You'd need to fact check that. Not that it's of too much importance when they listed it. You can clearly see that, around this time was when it was listed, and obviously the community did not like the fact that, their nodes that they've got more than 20 Stronger claimed would no longer be accumulating rewards, because I know there's a lot of whales in Strong and Stronger. In fact, almost all of the supply at this moment in time is being held by whales who just kind of refuse to take the L on this Strong and Stronger trade. So It is possible this could see one more mass capitulation, like a huge wick to the downside, huge move to the downside, before things kind of settle out a bit. I did check before this, but the market cap of both Strong and Stronger is literally peanuts in comparison to when I started doing analysis on this back at 272, and it's just getting smaller and smaller every day. So there's less and less people to sell. Which almost does, it is reflected in the chart a tiny bit. Like, you can see selling volume is kind of starting to subside, but in the macro term you can still see there is a ton of sellers in this market. So it does kind of seem like both Strong and Stronger could have further to capitulate. On the daily time frame, there's not a plethora of volume traded on Stronger. You know, it is exponentially decreasing, which is the opposite of what Stronger's doing actually. So very interesting. On the daily time frame, you can see we've once again just had a huge rejection over the top of this bound. Normally when we do this, we actually come back to the top of this, so you could potentially see maybe a return to nothing crazy, maybe a return to like $17-18 before this rolls back down. I wouldn't be betting on any short-term moves to the upside for Strong or Stronger. I do think these are both going to capitulate to very ugly levels. If we extrapolate both of these lines that we're running off down here, make this one come out a bit, this one will last another couple of days, make this one last another couple of days. In my opinion, I think we're coming right down for $7 before we get any sort of a bounce. If we do get a bounce, I could see us coming back up to 18 before probably coming back down. Obviously, it's going to be impossible for us to come down to here because this is a minus target. So what I actually think is going to happen is at some point we're going to have to break out to the upside of this descending channel. And you might think that's bullish. I've seen this with a lot of cryptos, like for example, I think it was ICP that was also in a very similar, you know, choppy downtrend like this, and eventually it kind of started to break to the upside. Actually, no, it was Bonfire. It was Bonfire. I remember now because I was covering this a while ago. But it was in a huge downtrend and it broke out of this channel, and a lot of people were calling, oh, you know, this would be bullish. But the matter of the fact is, if it stayed in the channel, like you could see, if we're still in the channel round about this time, we're going to be at zero or at minus prices. So there's only so far that we can actually continue to go down on these cryptos. I think it's going to be a lot of slow, choppy action, mainly moving to the downside. Like I said, if I had to bet on what's going on, I think something like this is going to play out, where we kind of slowly chop our way, and maybe we start chopping down to lower price targets. But the fact of the matter is, you know, Mint was up here. I always say Mint, probably just because I was huge in the NFT space before this, so I just love saying Mint. What I really mean is when this token was created, or, you know, people call that a mint anyway. I mean, you had to mint this token on the Ethereum blockchain, so I'm going to stick with Mint. Obviously it was minted a few days before release. I just call it Mint if you're wondering. So when this did mint up here at 150, we've really been sitting on the sidelines. In fact, when this did come out, I was kind of looking for potentially an area where I could enter. And, you know, if you've been following my videos, you know I've been saying until we start pushing above these fibs, there is no entry point for me. And we never did that. So it's a good thing I've been sitting on the sidelines for both Strong and Stronger, because it looks like these are both kind of going to capitulate and burn out to zero. This is really a Ponzi scheme in my opinion. There is no more money coming into these markets, which is why they're having to cut rewards for old holders. If you don't know how these kind of projects work, is, you know, there's one guy at the top benefiting from all of this, and what happens is for this person to be paid out in rewards, so this is someone with a strong node, right, and they need to be paid strong rewards. Well, how do they get those rewards? Well, it's now on Stronger. How would this person be paid out, let's say $10 worth of value or $10 worth of price in Stronger, how would we pay this person out? Well, it's very simple. Two people need to come underneath this person, and they also need to get a node. Once that node comes out, they can use some of the price, or StrongBlock can use some of the price that these people paid for a node to pay the person at the top. But then you wonder, how do these two people get paid? Well, it's very simple. Another 3 people need to come underneath these 2 people, and they need to, buy up the supply. They need to, quote unquote, stake it, even though it's not really staked, but you know what I mean? They have to kind of lock up the supply into a node in order to start getting those stronger rewards. And then these people, as they've bought more of the supply, this gets paid out to these people, this gets paid out to these people. Now you're wondering, how do these people at the bottom get paid out for rewards? Well, once again, it is very, very simple. 5 people need to come. They need to lock up the supply. They need to, like I said, they need to get a node going. So the people above them, what happens is, because these people have locked up some of the supply in a node, StrongBlock will use some of the payment that they paid for the nodes in order to pay the people on top of them, and then these people's pay the people on top, and then these people pay the people on top of that. What does this look like? This is a triangle, because this is a Ponzi scheme, and this is what I've been calling on Stronger and StrongBlock for such a long period of time. If you come back onto my StrongBlock videos, I started covering this round about late February, and if you go back onto my videos, I mean, I don't know many other YouTubers that cover Stronger, but I was bashing it very hard. I read the light paper. A lot of people told me, I said this project as a joke because it doesn't have a white paper, and people told me, I can't believe you would say it doesn't have a white paper, go on their website and you'll see that it does have a white paper. But then I can guarantee these people haven't read it, because, you come over on their website, where is it? They don't have a white paper. They've got like a light paper or a mid paper somewhere. It's called a flash paper. So they've got a flash paper or a mid paper, and this is not a white paper. This basically means that the project doesn't have a solid idea of what direction they're heading. If they did, then they would have a white paper, which is very solidifying in what they plan on doing in the future. But in my opinion, it kind of seems like they're hopping between they're just kind of hopping between different things, trying to make the Ponzi last as long as possible. And at this moment in time, like I've been saying, this pyramid isn't going to hold itself up if new investors don't come and keep on making the base of this pyramid bigger. As we are entering, in my opinion, kind of bear market territory, what this really means is that if new investors aren't coming in and buying up the strong supply, existing holders are not going to be able to claim any sort of rewards, or if they are, the value of those rewards is going to be peanuts. And that is what we're seeing right now. This is why StrongBlock is going down. The rewards are being worth nothing. This is why Strong's going down. Investors are leaving this space, and as there's no more money coming into this pyramid, the pyramid is almost like it's got a hole at the bottom of it, and it's leaking out all of the money that previously flowed into this. So this is going to be a brutal pyramid scheme, I'm telling you. Like I said, on the news over here, like we already said, they've already made it so old nodes will not be getting paid out anymore. That is because there's not enough new investors coming in. They are going to have to start picking and choosing centrally who does and doesn't get rewards on this, and I'm telling you, this is just another step in the in a bad direction for Strong. So like I've been saying, there's not a lot of Strong left to sell, so we are seeing very, very flat price action right now, but in my opinion, I still do think we're coming down to $2. This is my next target. I think this was from one of these moves. If not, it might have just been a psychological level. Let's see, daily over here. No, we've already got this down here, so 1370 would be the next level. I think because $2 does not have any it's not an orange line, so it's not a Fibonacci. I always draw my Fibonacci's orange now, but yeah, I think I just drew this as a psychological level, especially as it's right on $2. So in my opinion, obviously not backed up by any TA at this moment in time, but as you can see, it's getting harder and harder to kind of put price targets on this, because even running off these micro fibs that we've got, you know, this 1.618 was your last price target before we do come down to the 2.618, and these fibs are in the minuses, so we really don't have any more leg room to go. As you can see, even the most micro fib, all of the price targets are now basically at zero. There's only one more trend line before we do come down to $2, and that is this 1.618 fib. So very, very short term, I do think we're coming down at least another 61%. If you've been watching my Strong and Stronger videos, you know I've been very harsh on this. I've been saying this is a Ponzi scheme. I've been saying this is they're both going to zero, and it's great to see that, you know, a bunch of people commented on my previous video. A lot of people that were kind of in it before as well. So, you know, I hope everyone didn't take too much of a nasty hit on Stronger. Like I said, the goal of this channel is not to pat people on their back about their investments, make them feel good about themselves. I'm not trying to be the most likable. I'm not trying to, you know, record every single cryptocurrency video and say, okay, this chart's bullish, this chart's bullish, this chart's bullish to the moon. I'm not that type of person. If I look at the chart and it looks like dog water, which is what I've been saying StrongBlock is, then I'm going to call it how it is, and I'm going to say if it's a shitcoin. And I've been calling this to be a shitcoin for a very long period of time, and as you can see, you know, the news announcement was yesterday. They have basically confirmed they are a rug pull, so it kind of seems like this is over, at least in my opinion. Could be wrong, this could reverse out of nowhere, but in my opinion this is coming down to $3.84. Maybe it will have a bounce, then it will come down to $2, maybe it will have a bounce, and then both Strong and Stronger are probably going to capitulate to much lower price targets. All I really expect is price action like this, breaking down, breaking back up to previous rejection points, and then kind of just chopping out and bleeding to the downside. So I think this video was quite long, so I do apologize for that, but I had to go through briefly the news. I wanted to talk about, obviously, you know, the warning signs that this is, you know, a pyramid scheme, Ponzi scheme, whatever you want to call it. At least this is my opinion after reading the white paper, or not even the white paper, reading their light paper, mid paper, whatever they want to call it. But yeah, flash paper. So this is really a joke. This is not a white paper, and yeah, so I hope all of you found some value in this content. In my opinion, like I've been saying, I don't really see too much of a future for Strong or Stronger. And that is pretty much it. So best of luck if you're in either of these projects. I hope it works out for you, but I do think these are going to keep chopping and capitulating, especially if they keep on making, you know, new updates like this. Like, for example, they could make a new update in the next couple of weeks or so saying we can now only pay people out who have less than 10 Stronger created, and then that would just kind of topple everything. So like I said, best of luck to everyone. Hope it works out for you. As always, not financial advice. Cowboy out. Peace.